guys, Helen Hartsmith here from the Heart of the Witch's Path YouTube channel, coming to you with my video response for the week 22 question for the 2016 YouTube Pagan Challenge. This week's question is, do you create your own correspondences? And yes, I do. But I will admit that when I was a young witch, I did not, because I didn't have the knowledge yet. When I was new to the craft and getting into spell work and things of that nature, I went to books and I used correspondences that were there and easy. But as my practice has grown and as I walk further on the path, I'm finding that there are sometimes you'll have, let's say you have a spell that you want to work for a particular reason, and you go to your handy dandy lists or books or whatever you've accumulated and say the only thing that's listed there is, for example, stones that you don't have on hand, or herbs that you can't find, or incense that you have to order because they're not carried in your local New Age stores. That gets annoying. And so you have to put off your intent until you can gather these supplies. And it was okay for me to do that in the beginning, and I think it's okay for any new witch or spellcrafter to do that kind of thing in the beginning. But as my craft has grown and as I've grown as a witch, I have found that I'm seeking those connections and relationships with spirit guides like stones and animals and plants. And so I develop relationships with them, and we come to an understanding with how they want to work with me, for what purposes they want to work with me. And so I find that it's been a natural progression that I start to work my own lists of correspondences and learn how things work with me. And I think that's okay too, because realistically, witches come in all shapes and sizes. They're in different areas of the world. And what might be hard for me to find here in the Midwest might be incredibly easy for a witch in Europe or in Africa to find. And that's okay, because when it comes to correspondences, it's dealing with that law of magic that everything above, so below, everything below, so above. Things work together. And so when you're in a different place on this planet, things work differently for you, but you're working the correspondences. And so I don't think it's a bad system either way. I think it's easy to use books like Scott Cunningham's crystal book and herb book and his aromatherapy books and incense books. Those are like gifts to the craft. You know, those were books that I first bought when I became a witch. They're books that I still have. They're books that I still reference. They're books that I will not get rid of. And there's nothing wrong with referencing something like that, but there's also nothing wrong with working with a plant. And you might work with a plant that Scott Cunningham lists as being good for financial purposes, but for you, this plant has agreed to work with you for healing purposes. There's nothing wrong with that. Is your magic going to be any less than magic that Scott Cunningham might have put together? Absolutely not. It's your magic, it's your will, it's your intent. Correspondences help us to focus our energy and our intent to make the change that we're looking for in our spellcraft. So there's no issues with anything in my eyes. So there you have it. There's my response for the week 22 question. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you learned anything from this video, please give us a thumbs up or comment. Let us know that you're watching. Okay? Until next time, thanks for walking the path a little while with me, and blessed be.